Welcome to another video about reframing stress using emotional stabilization as your guide. In the previous video, we learned how to pivot from surviving and coping immediately after we find ourselves in quicksand to interpreting what the quicksand represents to us. We did this by identifying the problem, acknowledging the inconvenience, and taking action to remedy the situation. In this video, we look at the implementation gap. What do I mean by that? Let's be honest. How many unread books are sitting on your Kindle or your bookshelves right now? How many fitness apps or wellness bundles have you downloaded and never actually opened? Gym memberships, courses you signed up for and never attended? We know that knowledge alone isn't power, but worse, it's just clutter until you use it. This clutter clogs up your system and drains your energy. And what about how most people wait until they're waist deep in quicksand before they look for a rope, perhaps reaching for one of the hundreds of books they never opened to step on and drag themselves out of the quicksand, or rushing to go to gym to lose those 10 kilograms before a wedding in a week's time? Have you wondered why we love buying the book but struggle to read the chapters? Is it just a culture of accumulating but not implementing? Are our lives moving at such a fast pace that we cannot focus on a single thing except that which does not require terribly much from us? Does owning a whole bunch of books and things fulfill us in some way that there is no need to read anything or implement anything or use anything? Let's have a look at how we collect tons of cookery books and never cook. What's that about? Here's a metaphor for you. Having the recipe isn't the same as making the dish. And it's the same with any kind of personal development or personal mastery. We have to implement what we are learning if we're to make the changes we wish to see. So wouldn't it be great if you could learn to stand so steadily that you never, or at least seldom, fall into quicksand to begin with? Wouldn't it be great to learn to shift from trying to get out of quicksand to avoiding it altogether by building internal steadiness before crisis hits? This is like carrying an umbrella before it rains. If you're tired of buying without changing, isn't it time to move from superficial knowledge to internal stabilization? In today's video, we talk about the implementation gap and we reflect on why shelf help isn't becoming self-help. We reflect on how to shift to more stable ground before the quicksand reaches us. And then we look at our flat tire and what it takes to implement the solution. What would you say is required for you to transform yourself into whatever you wish to be, even if it is just to become calmer or more capable or less stressed? Determination, willpower, a pool party that sends shivers down your spine and sees you signing up for rock climbing on the weekend? What's great about emotional stabilization is that it can be easy as 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness, knowing where you are sinking; implementation, putting the stepping stones into practice; and accountability, following through even when you're busy. You can do all this on your own. Sometimes, though, having some guidance and insight about where you're sinking tends to make this first step easier and clearer. What about putting the stepping stones into practice? Of course, you can put the stepping stones into practice on your own, but it does require a level of commitment and discipline. And sometimes, when life gets busy or stress becomes too much, we forget about the stepping stones and find ourselves facing quicksand. And then there's accountability. Of course, you can do this on your own, but having a simple system that helps you remain accountable really does make life a little easier. Just watching these videos or reading the opinion pieces on which they are based is useless without a personal check-in to determine where you are. You know, like when you're looking at Google Maps and trying to figure out how to get somewhere. You have to see the "you are here" so you can see how to get there. So, if stress is throwing you off your stride, don't let this be just another video you watched and forgot. Take the opportunity for personal check-in. I've made it simple, non-threatening, and high value. Click the link in the description to sign up to be able to download your Paco Straw's Emotional Stability Personal Check-in. You can opt out anytime, but please make sure you opt in on the confirmation email. Get your oxygen back. Isn't it time you actually found your solid ground instead of just reading about it? What's that lovely expression about taking a horse to water but not being able to make it drink? It's the same here. We can write opinion pieces and articles for you to read. We can produce videos by real people in real situations. But unless you make a commitment to do something real to get closer to transformation, there's little point. So here's a 48-hour challenge. Click the link in the description. Sign up to be able to download your Paco Straw's Emotional Stability Personal Check-in. Complete it in your own time, for your own purposes. By signing up to get the personal check-in, you will also join the waitlist for the entry-level Stress Reframed Paco Straw's framework. As a founder member, you will also enjoy the benefit of low pricing. The books you bought but never read, the wellness apps you bought and never used have all cost you so much more. Now is the time. This is the place. Let's get to it, okay?